But first, I want to get your reaction to this runway look from the latest episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars. This is a transgender contestant, a biological female who now identifies as a man, pretending to be a woman for this drag performance.
This look is something I have been wanting to do for so long because top surgery absolutely changed my life. So I molded my arms. They're wrapping around me with scalpels. I have Swarovski crystal blood. I have a ponytail. And I have 2 Swarovski crystal in a bag. It is everything.
The judges described the look as fierce and gorgeous, but isn't this just normalising the worst excesses of the trans movement, glorifying what they call top surgery, which is a double mastectomy, the removal of healthy breasts?
Absolutely, Rita. This video is probably one of the most disturbing things I have ever seen. This woman clearly has trauma. I think the media company that has glamorised her self-harm needs to be held accountable. They need to be racked across the coals because this is just so damaging and utterly inappropriate. There are just no words for how sick this is. How have we got here as a culture, Rita?
Well, it's one thing if an adult wants to do that and they feel happy post-surgery than they did before, well, good and well, but to be glorifying it, to be promoting it as something that is now, we know, happening to young people. I've interviewed detransitioners on this program who had double mastectomies at 15, at 16, and with terrible regrets now. It's not a surgery you can reverse, obviously. So glorifying it, I think, is really such a dangerous thing to be doing. Now, last time we spoke, we discussed this transgender athlete, a man identifying as a woman, who beat the female competitors in the Oregon State Championships. That was a 400-metre race. Now we have yet another example of that same unfair advantage for biological men in action. Let's have a look. It wasn't close. That was Ella, the new Washington State High School 400-metre champion in the women's division. Another massive slap in the face for the real women there, Stephanie, who have trained and sacrificed for years to compete at that level. And now they're replaced. Think about scholarships, you think about all the opportunities that come from elite sport, and they're being stripped away from girls.
Absolutely, but are we surprised that it's not close? Look at his physique compared to his female competitors. He's got bigger muscles, longer legs, he has got much better lung capacity. But once again, I'm so pleased to hear that the crowd is not sitting there awkwardly, accepting it. They're pushing back and they're saying no. And I think athletes like Riley Gain have really contributed by being a voice against this in order to help people speak up more. So I hope that this is replicated in Australia too, because we know that the same unfair disadvantages are happening to women, particularly in localised sport.
Now, an Australian detransitioner, Mel Jeffries, has called for a review similar to the CAS review that we saw in the UK to be held right here in Australia. She writes, as a woman who began IDing as transgender at age 16 and since detransitioned after over a decade, the current conversion therapy laws have hindered my ability to process and recover from my transition. She has also started a petition to halt gender affirmation practices in Victoria. It's brave of her to speak out like this publicly, Stephanie. There's such a backlash that detransitioners can receive from trans activists. How many others are too intimidated to speak out?
I think there's quite a lot, and their parents as well. I really admire Mel because I think she's very brave. She's used a bad situation and she is, instead of being a victim, pushing back and ensuring that others don't make the same mistake. So I hope everyone gets on board and supports her petition. We need this inquiry, and it is the voices of detransitioners that can make it happen.
Stephanie Bastian, thank you for your time tonight.